GM, it's Chris. If you have an email list of some sort, or if you have a sales process, you have a funnel, you have a website, then listen up because in this video I will talk about what gets people to buy as a copywriter, which I am, and human psychology, and kind of like dissect a little bit what you should look for to do in your own offers, in your own emails that you send to people on your list or on your own sales page. I think this will help you massively to sell more, to convert more. So let's just tie this back to a real example of me, because I'm in a bunch of different email lists and I get a bunch of different offers from people that I kind of like look up to, or I want to look what they're doing. And there is this guy who is emailing me almost daily selling his tools, his toolkit, which is just courses and resources which he has, which is cool. And although those looked good and I actually wanted them, I didn't buy them, even though they were cheap. And as a copywriter, I like to go through this stuff. I like to go through the structure. I like to understand why I didn't buy, so that and how I would have done it differently so that I would buy. That's kind of like what you do as a copywriter. You put yourself in the shoes of the reader, in their mind, and see like, okay, what stuff do they need to see in order to act? And there were some things missing in this email campaign which I picked up on. And the thing is that the only thing I saw from these emails as an example were a lot about the tools, about getting the stuff, about getting the resources. And although that is cool, and although people like stuff, people like to get tangible stuff, and that is definitely something that you should do in your own business. But if people don't see exactly what the thing will do for them, or how it will help them to achieve something or get in life, even if it looks good, they will not buy. That's just how it is because uh, just to think about it, people are giving money in exchange for getting something, or at least in terms of getting a tangible, perceived gain. So a tangible, perceived gain. So when you give money to someone, it first has to be tangible. Like you can pretty much, okay, I give money for something and I have something, I get something, I have something to touch. That's step one. Then it needs to have perceived gain, meaning that, okay, if I have this thing, what will I gain in the future, or what will this allow me to do? So that's kind of like what these emails and this email campaign, at least for me, and why I did not buy. Because I saw just like resources, I saw tools, I saw courses, I saw a bunch of different stuff. But what didn't click in my mind, and probably for a lot of other people as well, is like, okay, what will these things allow me to do? What is the perceived gain for me? Like, for example, it doesn't have to be that I get something in this moment immediately. Like, I pay money and I get a water bottle. Cool. But a perceived gain is like, okay, if I learn this thing, or if I do this thing, or if I shift this thing, then that will mean that I will make XXX more money in the future, or in the near future, or in the next month, or something I can apply to my business, which will get me XYZ. So I think the tangible perceived gain is super important. And obviously, that becomes a little bit more harder to pull off for, let's say, an online coach in the spiritual space, or perhaps something which is a little bit more non-tangible. But even then, the people need to understand, like, okay, if I go here and if I give away my email address, or if I buy something, or if I trade my money for something, then I expect some kind of value in return. So that. So I think that is a really good thing to think about when you are creating offers, when you're creating your email campaigns, or even just your website and a sales process. Like, what is the tangible perceived gain that people will get from this? And that might be a lot further down the line in the future. It might be that, let's say, fat loss, right? Although I don't work really with fat loss and stuff like that, I don't have any offers like that for people, or rather, I don't have any clients who are in the fat loss space. But Fat loss takes time, and although the perceived gain is that you will lose weight, you you can't really tell people that, hey, you will lose 12 pounds in 2 weeks, because physically it's impossible. But the perceived gain is like, okay, if I learn this thing, if I hire this online coach to teach me how to lose weight, then that will help me to lose weight in the future so that I can XYZ, perhaps go on a date or be more self-confident, or, you know, go at the beach and see the looks at me from the girls, right? So there's always a deeper layer in human psychology for why people buy stuff and exchange for value. For example, another classic example is someone goes into the store and they want to buy a drill, right? And they don't look for a drill which is Hilltech, or a specific brand, or the features of it. That's a lot of stuff that's a common misconception that people have, and I see it all the time still, is that people market the features of something, like a car, like, oh, it has V8, it has this and that, and whatever. But people don't buy the drill or the car for the features. They buy it so that they can. So what does it allow them to do? For the drill example, it's probably so that they can drill a hole in the wall. So the actual thing is, they don't want the drill, they want the wall, or the hole in the wall. But then digging a little bit deeper, okay, why do they want a hole in the wall? Well, perhaps because they need to hang up something so that their girlfriend stops nagging them every weekend, so that they can just finally relax from the hard week that has been on the job, right? So just like digging deeper and asking why, that is pretty much a good insight for this video. As I think about it as I'm doing this, is that just asking yourself why until you find the root cause of what people want. It's the same for root cause analysis. That's essentially what it's called in engineering, because I have an engineering background before I became a copywriter. And just asking the 5 whys is a good way to start discovering a little bit, like, okay, what is the real motivation of someone buying a product or a service? So drilling the hole in the wall. Okay, why do you want to drill? Oh, so I can hang up this thing. Okay, why do you want to hang up this thing on the wall? Oh, because my girlfriend told me like 5 times and she's starting to get annoying. Okay, so why do you want to do what your girlfriend told you? Oh, it's because I want to keep the relationship so that we can have a family, and I want to lose her, and blah blah blah. So there's so many different layers of depth. But a lot of websites, or a lot of people with some kind of offering, if it's an online coach, if it's a service, they don't really dig a little bit deeper, just like one layer, which I think will help a lot. And that's pretty much what I do for local businesses as well. We dig a little bit deeper into the human psychology of what people actually want, and then we tailor the ads, we tailor the websites and stuff like that, so that it conveys to the deeper parts of what people want. A long video made short to simply make sure that people need to see exactly what you are selling and what tangible perceived gain that they get from it. If you can nail that, then I think everything that you sell online as well, like online coach, online consulting, online courses, if you can cater to the deeper human desire and what this thing will get them in the future, perceived gain, so they can. Remember these words in any type of marketing that you do for your business. So they can, so I can. And if you do that combined with the 5 reasons why, to find what people actually want, that will help you a lot in creating your offers, to make sure that it hits with the target market, etc. etc. If you need help with this, just reach out. You have a work with me link below. But that is pretty much how you can increase your conversions, increase your sales, and make your life a lot much better, a lot easier with your marketing. So with that, I will see you in the next video.